We're continuing at Newmarket Battlefield today. Once the 54th Pennsylvania finished deploying in the ravine behind us, they advanced up the small ridge where we are now standing. The 54th Pennsylvania deployed into a line of battle with the 1st West Virginia on the right flank and our left flank just across the Valley Pike. Colonel Campbell ordered the regiment forward in time to meet the advancing Confederate infantry from the 62nd Virginia. Sergeant Bryan remembered, the smoke was so thick I could see nothing in front. Almost immediately after topping the rise, Corporal James F. Allen fell, shot through the head, and was the first man killed on the line of battle. With the rain falling harder, the 54th Pennsylvania fired several deadly volleys into the 62nd Virginia. Colonel Campbell later wrote, "A rapid, vigorous, and, as I believe, effective fire was for some time kept up on the enemy, and every effort made by them to advance on the front occupied by my regiment was firmly and resolutely resisted and proved abortive." In the regiment's initial baptism of fire, Captain Edward Geisinger fell mortally wounded while leading Company H, approximately where the regiment's monument stands today. Yet the Pennsylvanians held their ground. General Sigel praised the 54th, later writing, "The coolness and bravery of the 54th Pennsylvania helped repulse the Confederate attack." General Sigel decided to order a desperate infantry charge. He wanted his entire line of infantry to advance against the rallied Confederates. When Colonel Campbell saw the 1st West Virginia charging, in the absence of orders, presuming it proper to imitate their example, I ordered the 54th also to charge. The men responded with alacrity and spirit, and after moving off the crest of a small hill, immediately encountered a withering fire. Still, the 54th Pennsylvania tried to carry out General Sigel's orders. The regiment moved off the small rise and into a deep gully that you can see in front of us before emerging on top of another ridge line. That ridge line is between those two trees that you can see out in the field directly in front of us. That would have been the far position that the 54th would have made it to. The 1st West Virginia continued to advance, but did not have any support on their flanks. They put up very little resistance before falling back from the fire pouring from the Confederate line around the Bushong farm. The West Virginians' retreat uncovered the 54th Pennsylvania's right flank. Chaplain Grafton Pyle remembered, the superior rebel force, yelling like so many infuriated devils, let loose from the underworld. Our right gave way. The rebel line bends round our right and left. The Confederates quickly took advantage of the opportunity and charged after the retreating 1st West Virginia. Their retreat, as well as the Federal cavalry on the left flank of the regiment, uncovered both flanks of the 54th Pennsylvania. As his men continued to fire, Colonel Campbell noticed the enemy pressed forward his right, which extended some distance beyond our left, and was rapidly flanking me in that direction, despite the most determined resistance, when my attention was called to the fact that the regiment on my right had given way, and the enemy was advancing almost at right angles with my line and extending beyond the rear and right of my regiment. Chaplain Pyle recalled, "I trembled for the fate of our footsore, inexperienced boys, but now they deliver a volley, and such a volley, it shuts the mouth of the yelling fiends and hurls back their column, staggered and depleted. But seeing our right yielding, the rebels rally and advance again with redoubled fury. The musketry and artillery on both sides are now engaged, and the work of death was earnest. Crash, crash, crash. Comrades dropped, one by one, wounded or killed by their side, and still they stand in their first engagement, battling with the coolness and tenacity of veterans of 100 victories." Colonel Campbell realized his regiment faced annihilation or capture if they stayed. Colonel Campbell recalled, "A few minutes only would be required to completely surround my regiment, and in the absence of any appearance of advancing support, I was reluctantly compelled to order my command to retire." Lieutenant Gageby agreed with his colonel, writing later, "We acted on principle that he who fights and runs away may live to fight another day." Historian Charles Knight wrote in his book, Valley Thunder, of the 54th, Despite the bravery and bloody effort put forth by the Pennsylvania troops, no soldiers on any field could have endured what they did and then survived the flanking of both ends of their line. Colonel Campbell ordered the 54th Pennsylvania to retreat. The men ran to escape the encircling Confederates, and all semblance of order initially fell apart. The men eventually rallied, first in small squads, then around their officers, before the majority of the regiment reformed and covered the retreat of the rest of the army back to Mount Jackson. Thank you for watching this episode of In the Footsteps of the 54th.